On today's video, I'm going to be doing a regular chewy goodness peanut butter cookie. I showed you kind of a healthier version before, but it's a very crumbly, dry. This will be a nice, moist cookie. So the first thing you want to do is preheat your oven, like I'm about to do now, to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius in my case. And this is so easy to put together. So the first thing you'll do, you're going to need 1 cup of 1 cup of all-purpose flour with 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And the reason we're using so much baking soda is actually if you use too much baking soda, so to speak, it will turn out, the cookie will turn out nice and thin and long, which is what we want for this cookie. And there's not a lot of flour in this recipe. I like my cookies to be very thin and long, but if you want it thicker, you can use a bit more flour. Make sure that's all in there. So we have our dry ingredients just right there. Next thing we're going to want to do is take our butter, and this happens to be 1/2 cup, 113 grams of butter that is softened. You can see here, that's the consistency you want. You want your butter to be very soft. I'm just going to make sure I got it all. And we're just going to give this a quick cream. And then we're going to add 1/2 cup of brown sugar and 1/2 cup of white sugar. And I just covered it because I put this out earlier and I didn't want the brown sugar to dry up because, as you know, brown sugar dries up very quickly. So I'm going to add in both my sugars. This is 1 cup. Now you could adjust if you wanted to use all brown sugar or all white sugar or more white sugar, less brown sugar, or more brown sugar, less white sugar. Feel free. This is your cookie, and as long as you use 1 cup of sugar, you're going to be fine. And you're just going to want to cream this together. I actually like to do this. My kitchen, believe it or not, my KitchenAid isn't working right now. So I'm kind of forced to do this until I get it. I'm not really sure what I'll have to do. I think I might have to get a new stand mixer. I've had this one, or we've had this one in the family for about, the one you can't see it, but we've had it for about 15, 20 years. So it's been with us for a while, but it's starting to fade. So this is all you're looking for, just for it to beat together. You might see a few clumps of brown sugar. You can kind of break them up, but that's pretty much what we want. Now we're going to add in our vanilla, and I'm going to be using about a couple teaspoons of vanilla with 3/4 cup, which would be 180 grams of peanut butter. Now you could use almond butter, you could use any type of nut butter that you want. I just really like in this case to use peanut butter. So we got our peanut butter. And we're just going to mix this all together. And we are going to add in our egg. Give this a quick beating. As you can see, this is a really easy recipe, like most cookie recipes. Very easy, very quick to put together. And it's really coming together. Oh my goodness. As soon as you add in the peanut butter to the mix, you can instantly smell it. It's just amazing. Alright, so now we're ready to add our dry ingredients. And this is the part where you don't want to overmix. You can mix this all you want before you add in the dry ingredients. And it won't impact the final product. But as soon as you've added in the dry ingredients, if you mix too long, it'll become very tough. So there we go. Now we're just going to add in our flour, baking soda, and salt. And we've got all our ingredients. Now as optional ingredients, you could add chocolate chips, you could add peanuts, crushed whatever you want. This is your cookie. And basically just mix this to combined. And you'll see it combines very quickly. Just make sure you get from the bottom as well. If you're using a stand mixer, that that goes the case as well, because I find the modern ones have fixed the issue, but sometimes the dry ingredients just clump at the bottom of an electric mixer and they don't get incorporated. So this is our batter right here, and it's a very soft batter, so just be aware of that. I'd recommend using a cookie scoop. So I'm actually going to, what I usually do with these peanut butter cookies, because it's a softer dough, is I put it in the refrigerator for about 20-25 minutes just to firm up just a little bit, and then I'm going to start scooping it and onto a prepared cookie sheet, and then we'll put it in our 350-degree oven. And I'll show you me scooping them onto the cookie sheets. Alright, so I've now taken the peanut butter out of the fridge. They're still very soft, but they're a little firmer than they were before. And I used a 3 tablespoon measure and scooped them on. Now I've put 9 on here because I think they're really going to spread as they're supposed to. And I was able to get, using a 3 tablespoon scoop, I was able to get 15. Now keep in mind these are larger peanut butter cookies. If you use a smaller scoop, obviously you'll be able to get a lot more. Usually, like one that I usually use for cookies would be a scoop like this, which is, I believe, a tablespoon and a half, so like half the size. So that would be about 32 cookies. So yeah, so depending obviously on the size, depends on how the baking time. I would say for something like this, it's going to be about 12 to 14 minutes at least. And before I put them in, I'm going to do the classic peanut butter crisscross, as we always see with peanut butter cookies, or at least the ones that I've had. You can't have a peanut butter cookie without the crisscross. There we go. And I mean, you could do any pattern you want. You could even not do this. And I know some people actually put sugar, like a sugar crusting on the top. I don't usually do that. I really like them soft and chewy. So, but it's completely optional. Like, that's the part that you can really experiment to how you want. And you can see these are pretty big. Alright, so now this is going to go into our preheated oven for probably about 12 to 15 minutes. Now out of the oven, and I tried to taste of this one, and I'll just show you. They're very soft. Oh. Very soft and chewy. And got a nice nutty flavor. They're delicious. And as you can see, these are very big. So if you want to make them smaller, by all means. But this is what you're looking for. A nice golden brown color. These are very good. I highly recommend them. I hope you give them a try. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to leave them down below. Thanks for watching.